What's up, everybody? Man, you know what? This weekend was just like I've been doing so many of those late night streams over the weekend, and then combine that with like the playoff games. I it was like it would be like 9:30, and I'm falling asleep. So I decided this weekend I was, especially with Mother's Day weekend and everything, I was just gonna take a break, and then get ready because we got postseason coming up and everything. So I wanted to be in tip top shape. Our fearless leader returns. That's right. All right. Obviously, tough weekend for Miami. Unfortunately, but like again, I think the reality is for Miami is that 4 weeks ago you guys thought we're not making the tournament, we're terrible, and like you came into this weekend against Virginia thinking like we could host, right? So I think the perspective Miami, you got to have the right perspective and everything like that because again, like most of the guys in the stream who are Miami guys and everyone else didn't think there was any chance in hell Miami would be in like a hosting conversation with 2 weeks left to go. And again, like the thing is this, I think Miami, like you still have a pretty good opportunity, and this is why is it's not out of the realm of possibility. Say, you know, if you can get a sweep this coming weekend, and you get to what 17 and what would it be? Let me make sure I have it right. It'd be you'd get to 17 and 12 in ACC play, and then you go into the tournament, you make a deep run, or you win it. I think they're a host at that point. So the crazy thing is this, and this is kind of one of the main things I wanted to talk about today, is that again, D1 baseball has the ACC just underrated in general, like way underrated. And again, that makes sense because your Virginias, your Dukes, even your North Carolina, like started out really slow, right? They did not start out well, but those teams are all finding their form now. The ACC is way deeper than I think a lot of the guys at D1 baseball thought a third of the way through the season. Duke is playing really well. Virginia is playing really well. Again, even with Miami getting swept at Virginia, remember, Virginia was the preseason number 2 team in the country. Like, that was not a series Miami had pegged to win at the beginning of the year. And you look up now, Virginia's 14 and 10, and they're 30 and 16. Like, Virginia literally would have won 12 games straight in ACC play if it wasn't for Georgia Tech. So, again, Wake Forest is kind of playing better. They're 8-2 in the last 10. So, I mean, dude, the ACC's got 11 teams right now that I think should be in the tournament. We have to wait and see. Virginia, again, is going to be the stretch because of their RPI. And again, I think you have to give Virginia credit. Like, they missed the series against Florida State. Thoughts? Just sucks I have to spend money and travel to watch them play. Yeah, everyone else is back on fire. I mean, again, it's ridiculous. This Miami team, if you asked anybody who knows what they're talking about and looked at their roster preseason, would say 12 and 18 in ACC play. I mean, that's what they would say. 12 and 18, like maybe 13 and 17, more likely 11 and 19. And Miami's going to probably finish with above a winning record in ACC play with the highest roster turnover of any lineup in college baseball. Thoughts on Missouri sweep? They basically put the dagger. They put the dagger in A&M. I mean, A&M's got no chance of making the tournament now unless they win the SEC tournament. So, really crazy. I mean, there's just the up and down roller coaster of A&M season. Was the culmination of that was this past weekend. I mean, preseason number 1, they start off terrible. They've never made it back into the top 25, but they look like they had figured it out. And then you get swept by Missouri, who had 0 wins in SEC play heading into the weekend. Pretty bad. Bottom of Miami's lineup was just awful this weekend. 5 of 37, 0 walks, absolutely brutal. Cuvée has to put up video game numbers every night for them to have a chance to win. Yeah, but I think you also have to remember Virginia's got one of the better pitching staffs in the country. Virginia's pitching staff, because I saw it a bunch in the Georgia Tech series. Virginia's got some really good arms on the weekend, and that's been a huge reason why they've gone on this huge stretch. I mean, listen, Danny, we all know. I mean, Miami's offense is what it is. I mean, it's not great. Cuvée has offered them a huge boost just with the way he's been playing recently. But again, it's like their offense is not good, even with Cuvée at All-American numbers, because he's just one guy. But you got to also give credit to Virginia's staff. I mean, they have been pitching really well recently. They seem to have figured out who their guys on the weekend are. And those guys have been pitching pretty well for them, right? And again, what you have to remember with Virginia is their Friday guy has been not good, right? They're projected, one of the top 5 starting pitchers in college baseball, has been, missed the first few weeks with injury. And since he's come back, he's pitched to a 6.11 ERA. He's given up 54 hits in 35 innings. And I will say he was way overhyped in the beginning of the season. I remember last year he was solid. But to put him as like a top 5 overall, like crazy. Let me see. Zach, man, you guys are chatting again so fast. Let me see what Zach said. Mizzou, does Michael Early survive? It's going to be interesting, man. I mean, Kendall Rogers made a post kind of basically saying that Kendall Rogers basically said the series getting swept by Missouri kind of opened up the door for A&M to be like, yeah, we're moving on. So I don't know. But that's what Kendall Rogers is. And he's really in tight at A&M. I don't know. Right. It's I don't know what's in the AD's head at A&M. I'm sure those discussions are being had, but I have no idea. Let's see here. Zach is back on the, let me see. Virginia also threw the Tomas kid on Sunday. I asked Monty Taylor about him in the fall because I knew he would be a player. Yeah. What has Major League Baseball become? A's Mariners were playing over the weekend. After throwing a pitch, pitcher goes to the tie his shoe, not knowing the play was still live, runner then steals second base. Yeah, I mean, it's, I mean, I'm sorry guys, but there's a bunch of guys like high school coach, like there's a bunch of guys who never played above high school, like in dugouts in professional baseball. Right. And those guys are scared to death. They're not going to call out a guy, right? They're not going to call out a dude in pro ball because they have imposter syndrome like they should. And so again, it's just that's why you're seeing that stuff pop up more and more and more, because there's just not a lot of guys that played the game coaching at the professional level. Zach is back on the Fire JD train. Was a great post from 64 Analytics. I never said Fire JD. Don't put words in my mouth. What post are you talking about, Zach? Have you kept up with Big 12 baseball? TCU looks good right now. Yeah. I've kept up with that, all the major conferences for sure. TCU is kind of on that. TCU is kind of on the edge right now for me as a host, just because they could finish really strong and it could kind of get there maybe, depending on how their RPI ends up. But yeah, they've been really solid. Lies, look at your tweets. Let me see the 64 Analytics post. I criticized him, but never said he should be fired. What are the... Hey, guys. Zach, you just sent it to me? Okay. You sent it to Elite Sports Advising, or you sent it to my personal account? I just got it. All right, there we go. What's up, Buck? Did you just get back? Did you just get offset? Danny, how about the Gators? Sully rubs people the wrong way, but dude can flat out coach. Started SEC 1-11, 12 and 3 cents, all without two best players up the middle and no Shelton either. Unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, dude, again, like elite coaches are gonna elite coaches. The start for Florida was just it almost again. It looked like it was insurmountable, and Sully's done a great job. And I think I think this is important. I think one of the things that Sully does really well is like he cuts out that like rah BS stuff, man. Like he is not about that. And you don't see Florida again. It's hard with the generations now. Like they all kind of do it, but like Florida is not one of the teams you see like running their mouth all the time. And they just kind of go to work and take care of business. And Florida's, I mean, an unbelievable job by Sully. Again, I saw someone tweet, they could be in the hosting conversation depending on this coming weekend. I'm like, I don't know if that's the case. I guess if you think that, they finish really strong and maybe they play well in SEC tournament, but heck of a job to take, like you said, Danny, 1-11 to start it's like, you got to go 19 or 18-1 to get to 19 wins, like to have to be like top of the SEC. And but they've done a heck of a job. Let's see what's going on. How about Missouri and Florida? Yeah. Sully is a flat out a-hole, Danny. Over 20 people have told me that, but man, he's a good damn coach. I was praying he got fired so we could hire him. Even though JD is a good coach and only will get better, Sully is Sully. That's right. By the way, here's something crazy from softball. Auburn went 6-18 in the SEC and got a 2 seed because they are 20 in RPI. What? Don't tell me that, Zach. That's insane. Almost 2 fights in the Vandy UT game yesterday was rather intense. Yeah, I know. And again, like I just don't like the fake tough guy stuff. That's just me. I don't like the like you got beat and then you're like talking trash after the game. And I don't know who said who. I don't know who started it or whatever. But again, it's just like you won the game. You don't need to talk trash. You got the bragging rights, right? Or maybe if you lost and you're talking trash, that's even worse. So I just hope that I kind of want to see coaches, kind of cut it out a little bit and be like, hey guys, like, let's worry about ourselves. But it's just kind of taking over amateur baseball. I got a video coming out later today on the state of amateur baseball in 2025. And it's one of the things I talk about where it's just so many kids who are not that guy want you to think that they are that guy. JD will always be the third best coach in the state of Florida is what it is. Man, he's been there 2 years. Relax. They vastly overperformed this year. Vastly overperformed. Sully ain't dyeing his hair blonde and posting either. Yeah. Don't take shots at our coach, Danny. The recruits loved it. I know because of how many liked it after I retweeted it. I'm off the Elander train. Does Michael Early get fired soon? Zach, I don't know. I will say, Kendall Rogers kind of alluded to that. I don't know exactly what he meant, but tough, right? Tough. When you get beat by, it's kind of the writing on, like, it's almost like the crown jewel on top of like just the cake. It's like you were preseason number 1 and then you played so bad that you're out of the top 25 and probably not going to make the tournament. And then they start playing better. And then you get beat by a team that was literally had 0 wins in SC play. And you didn't just lose once. You got swept, right? That's bad. They are a team that likes to dish it out, but cannot take it. Maybe. They definitely talk, right? That's true. I feel like all the tough guy baseball started with Tennessee and Vitello 2019. No, it definitely didn't just start there. Does Tennessee kind of play like that? Yeah. But it definitely didn't start there. It's been around for longer than that. But it's really hit its fever pitch like the last couple of years. That's why people are rubbed the wrong way by them. Yeah. Guys should know how to compete without pretending they're going to fight. Yeah, it's like, you're talking trash after you walk. Like the Texas video, I'm sure you guys saw with the kid at University of Texas against Florida. It's just it's a joke. We'll pull that up. If you guys haven't seen that, but it's unbelievable what you're seeing. And it's only going to get worse, right? Until it gets kind of a stop gets put to it, it's only going to get worse. Let's see. Guys should know. You said that already. Even with this weekend, I still think Michael Early saved himself due to the midseason turnaround. He'll get one more year. One. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Saw a kid talk trash after striking out the side in the first inning. Yeah, I mean, again, you know how I feel about that, Smitty, but it's like, dude, the mission ain't done. You got like 4 or 5 innings left minimum. Yeah, if you start talking trash in the first inning and then you get knocked out in the third, you just look like a moron. How do you as coaches deal with ridiculous parents yelling at players, acting like coaches, telling them where to throw the ball, etc.? Had our second round game on Saturday, and the parents were insane. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You just got to you have to set that standard before the season. I don't want to hear any coaching from the stands. I'm going to set them up to be, if any of you have a better resume than me, to be telling these kids what they need to do, where they need to throw anything. Stand up right now and show me. If not, have enough respect for me and my experience in the game to allow me to coach. And I had to have that conversation with our players actually this past round in the playoffs, because we have like 5 players that like they want to, like, they're coaching up every hitter as they're coming. I'm like, guys, I got it. Like, I will tell them what to do, because some of them are saying the exact opposite thing that they need to be doing. So you have to tell them, right? You have to have the conversation. Oh gosh, you guys are chatting so fast. I'm cool with the. Wait, jeez, man, you guys are chatting so fast. Tennessee's by far the worst of the tough guy stuff. They're definitely up there. Most teams probably only have 1 or 2 Tommy Pham types. Yeah. Did you say Jay Johnson get ejected? Unacceptable by that umpire? Yeah. Bunny ears umpire, sensitive guy. I'm cool with them playing that like that. Just be able to take the L and move on to the next one. 100%, right? Because it can be an advantage on the field. If you're a team like that, you can get the other team all riled up in a bad way where they're making mistakes, they're trying to do too much. But you can't take, once you lose or win or whatever, just like win with some grace. Pull up the Texas video. Didn't see that. I will pull it up in a second after I get through all these chats. I like seeing Vandy not backing down to Tennessee. Yeah, Vandy played great. And people forget that Tim Corbin's a really good coach, man. Vandy's playing really well. They're finding ways to win. Again, there's not a lot of star power flashiness from Vandy. They just play fundamentally sound, high-level baseball. Really high level. And that's a signature of Tim Corbin's teams. That series isn't life or death. Also, your video on the GT player hustling was great. Yep. Oh my God, don't we start on the Texas kid? Yeah. The video I tagged you in was good. South Carolina coaching staff is unprepared. Yeah, I saw that. That was a good one. And Zach, the Texas kid is someone we recruited. Hey, we played a 1300 team this weekend that started chanting ball 1, ball 2 from the first pitch of the game. Yikes. And Zach, the Texas kid is someone we recruited. Oh, wait, I just said that already. He would start for us this season in baseball and football for sure. He is a talented player, I think. How do you get into coaching right after college? How do you get into coaching? You got to utilize your connections and your network, and try to. Generally speaking, if you're going to try coaching right after you're done with college, you're going to have to take a low pay job, like grind lessons, stuff like that. But like if you want to work your way into the industry. Kyle is drowning in comments. Yeah, okay, here we go. Let's see if I can find it. Kyle, I saw you post a response to a Tim Corbin video of him game within the game. Could you elucidate? Yeah, I will definitely. We got you guys are asking like so many questions. I'm trying to find this one. Can anyone send me the Texas video if you can get to it real quick? I'm trying to find it. Actually, I know where to go. All right, here we go. Here we go, guys. If you haven't seen this yet, this is. Let me make sure the volume's down. All right, and then we'll go to the Tim Corbin thing. All right, just watch how this hitter reacts. Texas is losing 8-1. Let me move this over. Texas is losing 8-1. All right, so you know the score, okay? Now I'm going to move it back. There's a runner on first and one out in the bottom of the seventh. Look at the pitcher. The pitcher's even like, what the heck is this guy doing? Like, look, like, what is he doing? Like, wait, like, just keep watching. It gets worse and worse. What the heck? Yeah, I mean, it's just. I'm gonna read you some of the comments here. When I pause it. Ran across your ESA Advisor Spotlight series. John Murphy's qualified 100%, man, big time. Zach, looks like we're getting 3 West Coast regionals for sure. Oregon, Oregon State, UCLA. UC Irvine is on the board of being a host. Yeah, but I honestly, I think Irvine should be a host over Oregon State. I don't get it. Clown show, Buck. Yeah. Dusty Isaacs, welcome to the chat. Georgia Tech might be the only team ever to be a national host. To be a national host and not in the top 25. It's a yeah. We're going to talk about the top 25 after this because the top 25 to me it's unbelievable what teams are left out. But look at this, guys. Look at this guy. Look at this. And then 3-1. He's doing all of this. 3-1. He's doing all this, and he just takes one right down the middle. 3-1. Like, watch this. He takes it right down the middle. Buck, I also kind of thought that may be the case, so I didn't tweet anything because I didn't know if there was something like that. Look at this. Takes it right down the middle. Look at this. I mean, oh my gosh. I can't and won't watch this. It's so bad. Yeah, I mean, it's so bad. And look at this. Look how he takes the walk here. Oh yeah. Oh, big man. Yeah. Oh yeah. Losing 8-1. Look at this. Look at him skipping down the line. And then like imagine doing all of that and then like acting like why are you guys all pissed at me? Right? Like he can't figure out. You know what I do? I walk up to him and I'm like, dude, what the hell are you doing? I'm sure that Schloss had a conversation with him in like right here. He's like, let me talk to him. I'm sure he goes, dude, what? Like, again, we don't see what he says, but I'm sure he's like, dude, calm down. Like, what are you doing? Relax. And why didn't Sully put a hit out on him? What's happened to the game we love? Yeah, I mean, I don't, dude, like 8-1, a guy's doing this. It's like, hit him in the back, you know, like that's what would have happened 20 years ago. Right. It's like, okay, what are you doing? Yeah, it's pissing me off. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, we're going to go. All right, let's see here. Texas, LSU, Auburn, Vandy, Georgia, North Carolina, Arkansas, Oregon State, UCLA, Coastal Carolina, Oregon, Alabama, Clemson, Tennessee, UF. Clemson, though, is in trouble. Clemson's in trouble. We'll look at it. You 1,000% throw at him for that? I mean, I know what you would do, Dusty. We need John Boy to do a video on this. The pitcher should have thrown him an ephus to see him swing out of his shoes. He probably forgot he's down 7. I don't know how. It's pretty hard to forget that, I think, Angel. I I don't know how you forget that. Host as of right now, in my opinion, Georgia Tech, UC Irvine, DBU, Ole Miss, West Virginia, also in consideration. Yeah. All right, so let's go to the top 25. For Cap, that video of Tim Corbin, what I meant is that he's definitely relaying something to hitters or the opposed or the base runner with what he's doing. Like, he does that all the time, and I'm sure he doesn't just do that to do it. Okay, there is a rhyme to, there is a reason for it. All right. I said it all along. Clemson is not that good. There are so many dudes like that, afraid to hit, wanting to walk, see it every night, even at elite level high school ball in South Florida. 100%, Danny, 100%. Yep, if Tennessee and Clemson lose this weekend, they probably fall out of host. Yeah, I agree. Those are the two, in my mind, that have to win this weekend. I mean, Tennessee's playing Arkansas, right? So if they win, they're definitely a host. But if they lose, they're not a host, in my opinion. And Clemson is the same. Tennessee has lost 4 straight series. They've lost 5 of their last 6 series in SEC play. Clemson is basically on a similar stretch. I mean, they've gone from, they've lost, 3 straight series at this point. And again, if they lose next weekend, I think they have to be out of the mix as well. But let's look at the top 25. Dusty brought it up. Again, I've told you guys this for a while now. Georgia Tech, or the ACC, is so underrated in these rankings. It's unbelievable. And again, you'll say, well, Kyle, Florida State, North Carolina are both in the top 4. Yeah, sure. But look after this. I mean, Oregon State finds a way to be number 7. I don't get it. And then NC State is at 13. Okay. Clemson at 15. Okay, so you have 4 teams ranked right now. And then Duke and Louisville. Louisville gets beat by Georgia Tech, drops 1 spot. Duke beats Clemson 2 of 3. They go from not ranked to 20. Georgia Tech beats Louisville, not ranked. Florida goes 2-2 on the week, ranked, which, okay, fine. But DBU, Northeastern, 4 teams dropped out of the rankings. And Georgia Tech, who beat ranked Louisville, number 20, is not ranked even though they are second in the ACC. Their RPI is 23. Duke's RPI is 31. Again, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Louisville loses to Georgia Tech. They're 14-13 in ACC play. They have the exact same RPI as Georgia Tech. They have 3 less wins in ACC play. They're number 21. Georgia Tech is 17-10 and is not ranked. Georgia Tech is ahead of North Carolina State, North Carolina, Duke. Louisville's behind Miami, Clemson, Virginia, and Duke, but they're ranked. Georgia Tech is behind Florida State, and they are not ranked, and they are 37-15 overall. It's unbelievable. And again, they got a better record than Dallas Baptist. They got, Northeastern. I'm not saying Northeastern doesn't deserve to be in consideration. I think that's a great program. I mean, they're great, but are they playing in the gauntlet of the ACC? No. And again, I think the problem is, I think the guys at D1 baseball saw Virginia struggle early, saw Wake Forest struggle early, saw Duke struggle early, and basically every team that's outperformed those teams, they've undervalued. And now that Duke, Virginia, Wake Forest are playing better, like Wake Forest right now has won 8 of their last 10. Wake Forest is playing really well right now. But because those teams at the beginning of the year did not play well, D1 Baseball's rankings does not really value the ACC. Whereas, again, Florida, let's look at Florida. Florida's playing really well recently, right? I think they deserve to be in the top 25. It's like Tennessee has lost 4 straight series. They've lost 5 of 6 series. Basically, they've lost 5 of their last 6 series, and they're still ranked number 17. It's almost like they are punishing Georgia Tech for the Miami series. Still, they went from like number 9 to out. Yeah. And again, Miami has shown to be much better. So that series, that's getting swept at Miami at the time looked like terrible. But now, even though Miami just got swept by Virginia, like Miami is a much better team than I think people thought. And again, like Clemson's lost 3 straight series. They haven't dropped. I mean, they haven't dropped out of the top 25. They're still number 15. NC State got swept in 2 games by Miami last weekend, but they're still number 13. And again, Oregon State does not deserve to be in the top 10. I'm sorry. They do not. But it's very interesting to see like how Georgia Tech is not ranked. Very interesting. And again, I think like the ACC is much deeper than the rankings suggest. And the ACC is much deeper than I think the guys at D1 Baseball think or maybe thought it was going to be. If Georgia Tech beats, it's almost like if Georgia Tech beats Duke, they'll be fine. Oh, 100%. I mean, Duke's a top 25 team now, right? And I predicted Duke beating Clemson. Just going to say it. Someone in this chat thought I was an idiot for saying that. Just going to put it out there. Florida's RPI is 13. Yeah, but this is my thing is this. I mean, I think, Zach, like what you brought up about the softball for Auburn's softball team, like if we're just going to go off of that, then like 14 or 15 teams in the SEC should make the tournament. 12 or 13 teams in the ACC should make the tournament because they're the 2 best conferences. Right? Like Florida's RP. I don't mean Florida shouldn't be in the top 25. They've dominated the second half of the schedule. But like, yeah, Duke ahead of Georgia Tech is like next level. I don't understand that at all. Like I get they beat Clemson, but Clemson had lost 2 weekends in a row already. It's not like they beat Clemson. Like Georgia Tech almost beat Clemson, was 3 outs away from beating Clemson when they were in the top 3 in the country. Dusty says, so if Georgia Tech wins the ACC or second, are they still going to be ranked like number 24? It's nonsensical. Yeah, that's the thing that doesn't make sense. If you look at the SEC rankings compared to D1 Baseball's top 25, you have LSU at number 1. All right. Of course, an ad pops up. All right. Texas is winning. Texas is still number 1 in the SEC right now. Then it's Arkansas, LSU, Georgia, then Auburn. All right. So if we look at D1 Baseball, it's LSU, Texas, Auburn, Arkansas, Georgia, Vandy. Like all the best teams in the SEC are literally in the top 10. When you go to the ACC on like Warren Nolan, the standings, it's weird because Florida State is number 1 in the ACC. They're number 2 in the country. Georgia Tech's number 2 in the ACC. They're not ranked. They're also tied or slightly ahead, but based on games, North Carolina State has 1 less game. North Carolina State's tied with Georgia Tech. They're number 13. Then North Carolina is number 4. They're number 4. Duke's number 5. They're number 20. Virginia's number 6. They're not ranked. Clemson's number 7. They're number 15. Miami's number 8. They're not ranked. Louisville's number 9. They're number 20 or 21. Like, it does not make any sense. It does not make any sense. 13 out of 16 SEC teams are going to make it. Yeah, I agree. And again, I think like your tournament, who makes the NCAA tournament is different than like the top 25. Again, it's weird. Like the rankings do not line up. You have Georgia Tech's number 2 in the ACC. They're not ranked. North Carolina's number 4 in the country, but they're number 4 in the ACC. North Carolina State is tied for number 2. They're number 13. Duke is 5th in the ACC. 3 teams behind Georgia Tech. They're number 20. Georgia Tech's not ranked. Virginia's number 6, not ranked. Clemson's number 7 in the ACC. They're number like 15 in the country. Again, Miami's number 8. They're not ranked. Louisville's number 9. But they're number 21 in the country. It literally does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. And like Wake Forest is tied with Louisville. Wake Forest isn't ranked. So again, it's a weird. And in my mind, again, I think if Georgia Tech wins the series against Duke this coming weekend, Georgia Tech has to be a host. And the other thing is this: even if they lose the series, but they get to 18-12. I don't know how, like, how would they not be a host? What did I tell the boys about UVA? I'm scared to death of them. Yeah, UVA, man, they're like, UVA is coming on. I don't, and again, like, this is the other thing I don't understand about RPI, right? And I know maybe you guys can explain it to me, but Virginia's 14-10 in the ACC, and albeit they missed their weekend with Florida State, which has hurt them. But I don't understand. Virginia is 30-16. Their RPI is 60. Miami's 30-21. Their RPI is 28. Notre Dame's 29-19. Their RPI is 46. Virginia Tech is 29-22. Their RPI is 49. Pittsburgh's RPI is 48 at 26-23. Stanford RPI is 54 at 9-18 in the conference and 25-23. Like, I don't understand how Virginia's RPI is that high. I mean, I guess they've made some bad midweek losses and they missed out on 3-game series of Florida State, but I don't know how you don't get in. Like, if let's say Virginia, like, who does Virginia have next weekend? Is it a big matchup? Virginia Tech, okay. So, like, let's say Virginia sweeps Virginia Tech. And Virginia ends at, like, Virginia, let me pull it up again. Virginia ends at, what, 17-10? Where are they? Yeah, 17-10. Like, Virginia at 17-10 is going to be one of the top teams in the ACC. No, you definitely can win and RPI will go down 100%. If Georgia Tech's RPI is in the 20s, they won't be a host. And again, that would be so let's say Georgia Tech sweeps this weekend and gets to 20-10. It doesn't make, like, I don't care what the RPI is. If you're 20-10 in the ACC, you have to be a host. You have to. And in my mind, at 19-11, like, Georgia Tech right now, the interesting thing is this: Georgia Tech is the only team in the ACC with the chance to get to 20 wins. Now, you can say Florida State missed the series against Virginia, but for the way Virginia's playing, Virginia could have easily won that. 19-11, I agree with Dusty. I think 19-11 has to be an auto host. And even at 18-12, like, you should be in consideration in the ACC. I mean, 19-11 is very well could win the ACC. I mean, 19-11 could very well win the ACC. It's going to be interesting to see. Virginia's quad 3 record is 6-3. That's what is killing them. Yeah. No, and I get that. But I think also, again, the committee always takes into account how teams finish. Like that's always part of it. Like, they're running hot at the right time. I know the committee for some reason, and again, like to me, I think what you guys have to remember, what helps Georgia Tech is, let's say they win this weekend and they get to 19-11. The fact that this is Danny Hall's last year, I think that will give them a boost in the hosting considerations. I think they're going to say, like, they've got to have a chance. He's like, we got to give him a host. I mean, maybe not, but I think that is one of the considerations to understand as well. D1 baseball might have Georgia Tech out of the field at 18-12 in conference. Dude, it's crazy, right? If they end at 18-12, it's like, that's a 3 seed at like Arkansas or something, or Texas. It is pretty crazy that like this, like no offense to you guys, but in my world, if you're number 2 in the ACC, unless you've just been absolutely terrible in midweek contests, that's a host every time. Like there's no other way to say it. That's a host every time. Georgia Tech has played more quad ones than North Carolina. North Carolina's played 12 quad ones and are 7-5. Georgia Tech's played 22. Like North Carolina's played 12 quad one teams and they're 7-5. Georgia Tech's played 22. They're 12-10. North Carolina State's played 18. They're 9-9. Clemson's played 16 quad one teams. And again, like explain this to me like I'm 5. Clemson's played 16 quad one teams. They're 6-10. Duke's 9-9. Louisville's 11-14. Like all these teams that are like supposed to be host in the ACC as of right now, don't make any sense to me. Now, maybe there may be another projection that comes out this week, and maybe Georgia Tech's projected host. But in my mind, I don't understand. So Georgia Tech's played, of any team in the ACC right now who's projected to be a host, Georgia Tech's played the most quad ones, has the best record, except for Florida State. Florida State's 11-7 with 18 games. But again, it's really strange. Number 2 in the ACC has literally hosted 100% of the time since 2005. Yeah, that's what I don't understand. If Georgia Tech goes 19-11, they will finish at minimum second in the conference. Dusty, do you have the data sheet that proves that, right, or what? Data says 19-11 in ACC as a host. RPI can be 115. Yeah, it's hard to understand how you can finish. How can you finish second in ACC play and your RPI not be in the top 20? I don't understand that. I don't understand it. And we'll have to see. I mean, Duke's RPI is like 31 right now. So if you win 2 of 3, does that get you in the top 20 RPI wise? Does it go down? I mean, let's look at example here. So from an RPI perspective, Louisville, load the RPI delta here. Like, this is the thing about RPI. UTSA's RPI is 21. They've played 3 quad 1 games or 6 quad 1 games. Like, RPI to me is like the biggest joke in the world. I don't understand. UTSA's strength of schedule is 98, but they have a higher RPI than Georgia Tech right now. Dallas Baptist is in the top 20. Their strength of schedule is 49. UC Irvine strength of schedule is 70, and their RPI is 18. I mean, there's an argument that ACC is getting 4 hosts. Are they going to give it to the 7th finish? Yeah, I think it's something to consider. Like, if Tennessee loses this next weekend, they're probably not a host. If Clemson loses, they're probably not a host. If Florida loses, they're probably not a host. So that opens up 3 spots for hosts. And I think that would open up for a few teams in the ACC. But it's still weird, man. It's still so weird. We just need to wait and see what D1 baseball comes out with as far as projections. Because in my mind, like, again, right now, the ACC is way undervalued in how deep it is. And it's basically like the SEC, you can be 16-14 and projected to be a host. In the ACC, even if you finish at 19-11, you're not going to be a host. Like, legitimately, and this isn't taking anything away from Florida, but Florida is 13-14 in conference right now. A lot of people are saying if they win the series this weekend and get to 15-15, they will be a host. But you're saying if Georgia Tech wins the series this weekend and goes to 19-11 in the ACC, they won't be a host? Like, to me, that's insane. Going to be interesting to see what OU does versus Texas. Do you think being ranked number 1 adds pressure? Just thinking about Texas being number 1 and getting swept, wondering if LSU struggles a little bit. I mean, it definitely adds like a target on your back, but I think it's like, are you thinking about that when you step into the box? Like, I don't think so. I don't think it adds like as much pressure as people think. Like, it doesn't add any more pressure than you already have on you to like try to win every game, in my mind. So I think the question is, we need to agree on how many hosts the ACC is getting. Surely it's more than 2. And if so, GT has to be a host, bottom line. Yep. I agree. I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, let's just look at it. I mean, right now, again, whether you like it or not, Florida State and North Carolina will be a host. In my mind, North Carolina State, like, this is the weird thing. It's like North Carolina State 16-9. If they win a series, if they finish 18-10, are they not going to be a host? So I think the question is I think right now Clemson's still pegged to be a host, but like, I think right now the hosts in the ACC are Florida State, North Carolina, and Clemson. So I think a lot of it hinges on, is Clemson going to win? Like, legitimately, the weird thing is, like, Duke and Georgia Tech could both be hosts. Duke could sweep Georgia Tech and finish at 19-11. Georgia Tech could win the series and go to 19-11. Like Virginia could sweep Virginia Tech, go to 17-10, and their RPI is crazy, but they're going to finish near the top of the ACC. Like, again, just nothing makes sense with how the ACC is portrayed in the media and by the publications and the overall record in the ACC. Like, if you look at overall record in ACC play, you're like, there should be 4 projected hosts at minimum from the ACC right now. But there's only, again, there's like 2 or 3 based on how Clemson's played recently. So it's very strange. As of now, FSU, North Carolina, and Clemson. Yeah, it's like Clemson has the exact same record as Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's 2 games better record-wise. And their RPIs are 9 apart. Kyle, if Georgia Tech finishes second in ACC and somehow gets bypassed and they give it to a first, third, fourth, and fifth and sixth, will you be bad mad? That's what D1 Baseball is suggesting. Yeah, of course I would. And I think that anyone on Georgia Tech staff would be like, are you like, what standard are we held to now? Because you look at the SEC. In the SEC, it's basically like if you do well in conference, you're a host. It's like automatic. But okay, in the ACC now, even if you dominate, like if you finish second in the ACC, you had a dominant year in ACC play. And I think at that point, you're like, well, this doesn't make any sense anymore. Like, who's making these decisions? It would be very, very surprising to me if Georgia Tech finishes at 19-11. Even at 18-12, to me, it would make no sense. At 18-12, you're like, that's a host. Yeah, what were the records in conference? Let's look it up. Georgia Tech is predicted right now to finish 19-11, which would put them second in the ACC. And Clemson's projected to finish 16-14. Florida State projected to finish. I mean, like the thing that's crazy is there's a world where Virginia ends up in like the top 3. Yeah, I mean it's very strange what's going on. Does Warren Nolan allow you to look at the past ACC? I'll just look at it right here. 2024 ACC baseball standings. Yeah, I mean, the ACC's always been like a 4 or 5 host conference, so it's like it's so strange how the ACC is being like looked at this year. Here we go. All right, Clemson. All right, so Dusty, who were the hosts in 24? 5 hosts last year. Look at like these standings will make you are hilarious. List me out. Let me look out. 2024 NCAA baseball tournament hosts. All right, so you had North Carolina, Virginia, Clemson, NC State, and Florida State. Okay, so let's pull this up. Now, these were the standings last year in ACC. Clemson was a host. They were 20-10. No duh. NC State was 18-11. Host. Florida State, 17-12. Host. North Carolina, 22-8. Host. Virginia, 18-12, host. So you had an 18-11 team, a 17-12 team, and an 18-12 team. Three of them were hosts. All three teams with 18 wins. Actually, all three 12-loss teams were hosts. So if Georgia Tech gets to 18-12, they should be a host. 19-11, it shouldn't even be a discussion. So again, I mean, we'll have to wait and we'll have to see kind of how it plays out. But in my mind, I don't know how a team that finishes 18-12 is somehow not a host based on the last few years. It makes no sense. And it's like me and Dusty have been telling you guys, like 18-12 has always kind of been looked at as like the benchmark for not like you're in consideration. It's benchmark for you're a host. Why are you looking this up, Kyle? This is the data I've been referring to. No, I'm just looking up I wanted to see because I agree with 19-11 is like automatic. That's automatic host. But 18-12 last year, not even 18-12. Florida State was 17-12, and they were a host. Three teams were 12-loss teams, and they were hosts. So, what are we talking about? I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I had to piss like a racehorse. Sorry, guys. No, I had to go. I had to go to the bathroom, man. 19 Wins has never not hosted. 19 Wins is auto host. Zach be damned. I'm ready for y'all to be shocked on Selection Monday. Kyle got so heated he had to leave the set. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it's pretty crazy to think that like what happened to the ACC. Again, I think what you've seen happen is that preseason Virginia, Duke, Wake Forest, all three teams were projected again. North Carolina State, four teams were North Carolina as well. They all started off really bad. They're all out of the top 25. And so I think in the calculations, it hurt the RPI overall in the ACC because all of a sudden, all these really highly ranked teams in the ACC were playing bad to start. But now Duke, Virginia, North Carolina State are all back in the top 6 of ACC standings. Dude, I'll eat lunch whenever I want to, Zach. I was starving yesterday. I'm about to get off the stream because I got to get some food before I leave for practice. The creatine is kicking in. Yeah, well, I got to stay hydrated, man. Stay hydrated. A little salt in that water. 32-ounce cupfuls of water. You're good to go. We need Kyle and Dusty on the selection committee. At least Kyle. Yeah, I mean, like, but dude, honestly, I think I would just, again, if you're in the ACC or the SEC, like conference record to me is the most important thing. And again, like I understand if you like, let's say in your however many midweek games or your non-conference games, you played really bad, like really, really bad. That can make sense. But if you did like Georgia Tech did really well non-conference, they've done really well in midweeks. The only teams in the midweek that have beat them are all projected national seeds. Like remember this with Georgia Tech. 3 of their midweek losses are Georgia and 2 to Auburn. And both of those teams are top of the SEC. and they've taken care of business in ACC play. Which ACC teams have most wins against SEC teams? I'd have to look. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I think maybe like North Carolina beat South Carolina, like Florida State beat Florida. I don't know. Unfortunately for Georgia Tech, they are 0-3 against SEC teams, but they've all been like pretty close games. But if we've learned anything today, it's that unless unless all of a sudden there's a new norm, the ACC, if you get to 18-12, you should be a host. But that is a good question, Cap. So if the season ended today in ACC play, your top four, your double bye teams in the tournament are Georgia Tech, North Carolina State, North Carolina, and Florida State. Your single bye teams are Miami, Duke, Clemson, Virginia, and then everyone else is obviously, it's a play-in game. Which again, I think the ACC tournament now is actually going to be watchable. It's actually going to be fun to watch. So that'll be interesting. It's going to be in Durham. Okay, it's in Durham this year. But right now, I mean, again, it's like hard to imagine. So Clemson isn't even a top 4 seed in the ACC, but they're a host. Like, make that make sense. Again, explain it to me like I'm 5 so I can understand it. Because I'm only a baseball player. I don't understand how you can be the 5th. Not even the 5th. The 6th seed in the ACC tournament. But you're a host over the 2 seed and the 3 seed in the tournament. And again, the 1, 4, and 6 seed, 7 seed. Wait, Clemson's not even the 6 seed. Clemson is the 7 seed in the ACC tournament. Can you believe that? That's insane. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I got to get some food before I head to the practice, but thank you for tuning in, making this as fun as you always do. Going to be a big week, right? This weekend determines who the hosts are. For the most part, tournament play will have an effect as well, but this is a big one. So